Hello everyone, it's Jen. I've got a fun treat for you today. We have a Pooler and Heffy Doodle collaboration hop today where some of the designers have come together to share some inspiration from a mix of products from both of the companies. So I showed you the pictures of the two cards I'm going to be making today. For my first card, I'm using the Absotoothly Awesome stamp set by Heffy Doodle. I'm bringing in the So Happy Sentiment stamps by Pooler and the Happy ×3 dies. So the colors for both of my cards today were inspired by the Pooler inks, and you'll see all of them that I'm using on the second card. For this card, I'm using the pink champagne, and I'm just using a makeup brush here, or a blending brush, to add a little bit of color to my background. And I'm just going to have a soft pink background for this card. Added some water to activate that ink, so I had a nice dimensional background for the card. And now I'm just adding some of the hot tub ink to some cardstock, and I'm going to cut out one of the happy dies with that so that it matches the color combinations or the color palette that I'm using for this card. I went ahead and cut out another one of the happy dies with some holographic paper, and I adhered those on with some liquid adhesive, and I just put a stamp block on there to allow that to dry nicely. The slick surface of the holographic paper just needs a little bit of time to dry. So I'm going to add the happy sentiment across the top portion of my card panel, and then I'm using one of the sentiment stamps here from Pooler. I just masked that because I just wanted to use the first part of that sentiment, which reads days. So the sentiment for my card is happy days, and I'm going to add a few of these little fairies, 3 of them actually. And I have one colored in purples, one in pinks, and one in an aqua color. I'm just going to add those to my card base. I did go ahead and color all of my images prior to making the cards. Just with this being a card hop, I know that they can sometimes take a bit of time, so I wanted to do the coloring prior to the video. I forgot to mention that there are prizes up for grabs. You can see here I'm just using some of the little heart stamps from the Pooler So Happy stamp set. So I'm just going to add some of the smaller ones and some of the bigger ones with that pink champagne ink. So back to the prizes. I have a list of all the people participating in the description box below. Make sure to check out both the Heffy Doodle and the Pooler blog posts for the collaboration hop, and you'll find all the information on how you could win some prizes. So we're on to card number 2, and here you can see I've colored the images as well. I'm going to be using the this is the Geo Curves Background Builder stamp by Pooler, and then I'm using the Heffy Doodle Spaced Out stamp set as well. So similar to the first card, I've gone ahead and I've ink blended some of the hot tub ink on my background and then added some water as well just to get a nice look here for my space background. I've gone ahead and popped up all my images on some foam tape so they're raised off the card, and I'm going to play around with placement here so that I can get my sentiment on the card, and the sentiment reads, "I totally spaced on your birthday," which is so stinking cute. I'm going to stamp that out in some of the Juniper Mist ink. And I love the way the Pooler inks stamp, and they are crisp and beautiful. I decided to go ahead and add some more of my images here, and I'm going to use the Background Builder stamp to add some fun details to my card and to give it more of that space feeling with different lines of dots and different patterns, and I'm using different colors for this as well. So the purple is the Pixie dust, and this was the inspiration for the purple in my card. So I'm just stamping out that dotted line with that ink, and here I'm bringing in the pink champagne ink again. This time I'm going to use a smaller dot pattern here, and I'm just laying this down. No rhyme or reason, just having fun with stamping and the inks. I did leave this in my Misty stamping tool because I do like that it has that plushy cushion behind it, and it just ensures that you're going to get a crisp image. So that's the reason for stamping in my mini Misty here, even though I'm using a stamp block. So now that I have that color done, I'm moving on to the Juniper Mist, which is a gorgeous navy blue color. So you can see that that inspired the darker blue in my coloring. This shape is really fun. It almost reminded me of a ladder. I'm sort of using it as little tails for my planets. Now I should probably say that how I arranged the planets on my card is not correct per astronomy. Again, this is a card and I just had fun and just put them where I thought they looked best. So I want to talk a little bit about this area to the bottom left that I'm currently working on. I struggled with this one. So I left this all in because I did not like the way it turned out on that bottom left, and I want to show you how I fixed that. When I first stamped the little, we'll call it a ladder under the earth, it actually looked like it was a ladder, and I didn't like that look, so I tried stamping a second one beside it. Didn't like that either, and then tried fixing it by adding the star to the bottom of it, and still didn't like that either. So I am going to play with where I want this placement. I do end up covering most of what I stamped down there at the bottom. You'll see here in a second. And I also went ahead and I stamped out some of those stars in the Sangria color, which is a really pretty darker kind of maroon color. It's absolutely gorgeous. And the stars are from the Spaced Out stamp set by Heffy Doodle. I thought it would be fun to add some stars to our background. So you can see here I played around with this quite a bit, and I end up covering the majority of those navy blue little ladder patterns there to the bottom of the card. So don't give up when you're card making and something isn't going quite the way you want it to. Usually you can find a fix, and I absolutely love how this card turned out. So I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to get all of my little elements in place here. I wanted to have 3 of the planets to the bottom of the card and then 3 to the top, and our little astronaut here will give us an odd number of images on the card. Odd numbers of things are always more pleasing to the eye. So there's a little tip, although it is card making and I don't think there's any rules, so just have fun. You can see here I'm still playing around with how I want these placed. I absolutely love how the geographic curve background builder added something a little different to my cards. It's not something that I would have thought of without having this collaboration, so that was super fun to come up with an idea to use the stamp set. To finish off this card, I just added some highlights with a white gel pen, and here's a look at 2 of the cards we made today for the Pooler and Heffy Doodle collaboration. I hope you have tons of fun on the hop and good luck with winning some prizes. Thanks for watching, everybody. Have a fantastic day, and I will see you really soon in the next video. Bye!